can you develop and straighten that leadership skills and become a member of the cabin crew team of the airline you're applying for? Make sure to stay tuned until the last minute of this video, as I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do that. In my previous video of the playlist regarding the leadership skills, I have covered the subject in which I'm telling you why the leadership skills are important to you during your open day, during your assessment day, and during the final interview. I have talked about what are the leadership skills that the recruiters will be looking at, and I have covered the part in which how the recruitment team will know whether you possess those leadership skills or not. The link of that video is right down on the description of this video. Some people might say that leaders are born. However, according to my opinion, I do agree with the experts who are saying that we all have equal chances to develop our leadership abilities, and we only have to look for that proper way that's suitable for us, in which I believe that we should be all looking at. So therefore, in this video, I'm gonna tell you tips and tricks on how you can straighten your leadership skills, since the recruitment process might take some time for most of the airlines due to the pandemic that was happening and that's still happening all over the world. So again, stay tuned until the last minute of this video to find out how can you develop and straighten your leadership skills. Developing your leadership skills is the most powerful thing that you can do to transform yourself into that candidate that the recruitment team will say, you know what, we actually need this person in our cabin crew team. As you will be working and straightening your leadership skills, you will become more attuned to your strengths and your weaknesses. This will rise up your self-awareness and your ability to relate yourself to others. Now, I'm not going to be talking over here about the different leadership styles, as you will not need that. Getting to know the different leadership styles will be something that will be covered in your career progress or your leadership training that you're going to get once you join the airline. But however, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get to know the different leadership styles out there in another video. Right after this video, I'm going to publish a video about the different leadership styles on board the aircraft that you might be able to see. However, we're gonna now straight away go to the ways of how you can develop your leadership skills in order to go to that final stage, get the job, and be recruited for the airline that you are applying for. My name is Julia George. I used to fly for Qatar Airways for 10 years, out of which 5 years I was in the leadership role, from where I believe that my credibility speaking on this subject about leadership comes from. Find your passion. In order to present yourself as a future candidate that possesses good leadership skills, you should be able to show that you have passion of the things that you will be doing, passion for the cabin crew job that you will be performing once you will be joining that cabin crew team. Think of ways on how you're gonna engage yourself with your work and try to understand what would be the things that will motivate you to do the best in your job. It is very important to know how you are going to enroll yourself in that cabin crew job. That will be basically very well will be seen during your open day, during your assessment day, once you will be interacting with the recruitment team, and you must have a clear vision of what will motivate you and what will drive you to do the best in the job. For some people that will be meeting up new people, the multinational team that they're working. For the others will be the uniform, perhaps, as it was for me. For me, my passion and my motivation was always the uniform that I was wearing. That's why from the day one until the last day, I never lost my motivation being a cabin crew, and I think that is very well visible even now when I'm talking to you on YouTube over here about the uniform I was wearing. And now the passion for the uniform doesn't necessarily has to be just because it's gray color or it's burgundy or it's beige color. It should be the feeling, the desire to just be that person, belong to that team, developing that team spirit that we all enjoy in. Believe me, these are the things that the recruitment team are really, really paying attention to. So therefore, please find your own passion when you will be developing your leadership skills. You have found your passion, and let's go to the equally important part as finding your passion, which is called practice discipline. Try to implement good habits such as waking up early in the morning, doing your daily exercising, completing the task that you have imagined the previous day that you would want to complete, and the list is endless. Practicing discipline is very, very important. Why? Once you become a cabin crew, and I'll give you just a small example. You're passing through the cabin or you're securing your zone and you're telling to your passengers, please fasten the seatbelt, stow your tray tables, and keep your seat back upright. Please open the window shade, etc., etc. And remember, if you're not a disciplined crew member over here, and this belongs to the leadership skills because you are actually telling something to the passengers and they're supposed to be listening to you. And if you're not a person who has the discipline over herself, you sit down, or himself, you sit down on your jump seat and you're totally having your seatbelt unfastened, you have your bag next to you, your window shade is open and stuff like that. You definitely are not good example because you're not disciplined over here and people will be not following you simply. So therefore, mastering your leadership skills and developing your leadership skills really depends on our ability to be disciplined. Therefore, if you have not been so disciplined, if you have not been waking up so early and completing tasks, completing daily exercises, I think now it's the right time to start and do that. Beef up your communication skills or simply power up your communication. Now, it is very important to understand that as a candidate and as a future cabin crew, you just simply have to be in possession, or you should have good communicational skills, as while interacting with the passengers and with the crew members, you will be all the time passing messages and you should be able to pass a clear message, and you should be able to at the same time understand the messages that have been sent to you. When it comes to the written way of communication, you should be able to write good emails that are very well understandable, and you should be able to understand emails. Now, often, ladies and gentlemen, as candidates, I observe when you are sending me messages that you cannot understand very basic and very well written emails that perhaps management of Emirates Airlines or Qatar Airways are communicating with you, and you're in a panic. I do understand that at this moment the adrenaline is running high and you're perhaps unable to understand. Nevertheless, whenever you don't understand the email, take a time to chill out, 10-15 minutes, reread the email again once the emotions cool down. Then we are able to absorb better the information that has been passed to you. But we must be able to understand communication, we must be able to understand emails, and we must be able to understand people when they are communicating with us. One way to do that is to avoid using shortcuts when you are communicating with people. Your communication skills can be better if you start from the first day itself, or from now, by reading English books. One of the way that I suggest you that you can make your English better, because most of the time we do struggle with English, as English it's not our first language. And nevertheless, in the description of this video, I'm gonna give you the link of the video how you can upgrade your English skills, because also English, as I said, is not my first language. There is a way to do that. And when it comes to communication, the key to successful communication is always communicate, communicate, communicate. Just talk to people, just pass information, and just double check whether you have been understood properly. And also, when you are getting an information and when you have been communicated, reconfirm whether you have understood properly. And I believe that by practicing this thing, you will definitely practice one very important leadership skill of yours. I absolutely think that you should be able to follow. If you are unable to follow, maybe you should be learning how to follow. Perhaps follow advices, not necessarily should be my advices, but follow people's advices when it comes to different fields or different areas that you are interested in. Because by learning how to follow people and learning by their performance, how they speak, how they express themselves, just like the way I speak to you right now, you can get inspired to, in future, you be that person who's gonna be followed, and the chain will go like that. So I do believe that straightening one very important leadership skill is to know how to follow and to be ready later on to learn from everything that you have been following. And do not forget, while following, depends on what is the thing that you're following, you take notes, you write down the things that are important to you. Develop situational awareness. I'm just gonna give a small example that just happened recently. One of my followers on Instagram commented on one of my photos that she doesn't understand why Qatar Airways actually does open days and recruits cabin crew, because she has been attending an open day and there was a girl that she thinks that was totally inappropriate to be selected, and she thinks that that's just not fair because she has more qualities than her. And to end the story, she said, why Qatar Airways is recruiting people? Perhaps a lot of people are leaving, that's why they're recruiting many new people. So I took the time to explain to her, and I told her, perhaps you're right in that one sentence, that they have to recruit people because many people are leaving. But also what is very important, and not necessarily to Qatar Airways but to the Middle Eastern airlines in general, is that they're constantly opening new destinations. They're constantly buying new aircraft. So one of the primary reasons on why they're recruiting cabin crew is that they're expanding. So when we are saying the airlines are really fast growing, the cabin crew have a career for fast progress and growth in their career, then this also comes in place. And definitely she was right by mentioning this. Now, if you are not situationally aware and you don't know the full picture of why things are happening, you won't be able to present yourself as a candidate who has leadership skills, and this can impact definitely your selection process. So therefore, developing a situational awareness is really important, or with simple words said, just be able to see around and to see the wider picture. Do not only see what is in front of you. And for every why, there are a lot of because. Inspire others. If you have done something good to yourself, you have done something that you benefit. For example, I have done a hair mask that has literally helped me a lot for my hair fall. I have used a face mask that literally have made my skin so beautiful. Share those tips with other people. Inspire other people for the things that make you feel good. You will definitely upgrade the leadership skill, and you will create a leadership skill of inspiring others. So therefore, do not be afraid and do not hesitate to share the good things that have brought good to you, and therefore you will be someone that tomorrow can be a good role model. And never stop learning or keep learning. In order to present yourself as a candidate with a good set of leadership skill, a candidate that the recruitment team will simply say, we must need this person in our cabin crew team, you must be someone who learns on a daily basis. Make a program in which every day you're gonna have a task of learning 10 different things, irrespective of the subject that is of your interest. Today we're talking about leadership. Perhaps tomorrow we will talk about teamwork. So make yourself a plan in which every day you're going to be learning new things which are related to the cabin crew job, on the cabin crew role itself. So when you will be attending that open day and that assessment day, you will be definitely a candidate with a high level of credibility to be in the team, because you have been showing a serious amount of learning skills, because you have learned so much and so many things that you in fact didn't have to learn it, but you took the initiative and you know them. And to end this session, you perhaps might want to keep a journal. Write are the things in which perhaps there were situations where you did not communicate well. Write down the things that you have learned, the new things that you have learned. Write down your passion. What was your passion, or what is your passion to join the cabin crew team? Write down the things that you do to inspire others. Write down the things that you are doing to help other people. Write down how do you cope with keeping that situational awareness at the highest. Write down all the things that you are doing and that I have mentioned before in order to upgrade and to straighten your leadership skills, and then go through those things from time to time in order to remind yourself of how much you have achieved, because how much you have achieved also is a serious parameter that will boost you later on to become better and better communicator, to become someone who's going to be more and more inspiring, to show up as someone who's going to be more and more learning, etc, etc. With having all these things said, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification button for the new videos that are coming up. Until then, stay blessed, bye bye, and have a nice day.